My name is Jacqui Wilkinson. I've recently written a book called Turning the Tables on Trauma, overcoming many different adverse childhood experiences in my life dealt from my parents, but using that pain that I had to endure, learning from it to help others learn how to overcome and to build healthy healing strategies into their lives, which will lead to deeper fulfillment and happiness, which we're all seeking. Who doesn't want to be more happy, right? And that's what my intent is now, is to just spread that understanding and that you are enough despite, what cards you may have been dealt in your childhood. And my leadership top tip is it's all about leadership begins with self-leadership, self-awareness, and just innate emotional intelligence, really understanding what your strengths, your weaknesses are, but also what you value. What are your core values? And are you living your life aligned to your core values? Because when we're aligned to them, we find deeper fulfillment and happiness in both physical body, mind, and spirit. And when we're misaligned, that's where that creates the anxiety and the tension. So those values are really key to understand yourself better. And authentic leadership, it requires, in my opinion, to embrace vulnerability, viewing it as a strength and not a weakness. Because when we lead with integrity and purpose in times that can be really challenging, it helps us to address the really tough conversations. And brave leaders should lean into having those hard, tough conversations that they'd rather not, because those are probably the most important conversations to have. And I also believe that, all types of leaders, whatever you are, you will lead abuse survivors. Given the statistics that I've just mentioned, it's very prevalent. So please lead with kindness and empathy, because you never know what that person who stood before you has been through. And it might have been a life of absolute delight and joy, but there might have been many challenges that they've had to overcome and face. And so that support is always empowering for them. And we mentioned before, don't judge a book by its cover. It's one of my strongest proverbs that I hold, and it's really true, because it teaches us that the stories and struggles that each individual carries, shouldn't be judged.
Well,
And
final one.
yeah, and finally, I think survivors who struggle with mental health, there's the stigma, and the stigma creates silence, and that silence creates abuse thrives on secrecy. So the silence is what actually creates the shame. So when we allow open space and an environment that is welcoming for people to talk, to open, to share, and it might just be a one-to-one, it actually helps create that ripple effect, which helps to build resilience.
Jacqui, thank you very much for writing your book, Turning the Tables on Trauma, for your support for the Inspiring Leadership Foundation and the other young men and women who've been through abuse and trying to turn their lives around. You are truly a role model, and it's been an honor having you as a guest.
Thank you so much for inviting me on. It's been an honor and a privilege to actually speak to you, Jonathan. And I'm so grateful, actually, that the story that I wrote enabled us to connect back in January. It's amazing that life happens for you, not to you. And I
Yeah,
firmly believe in that.
so true. And you meet people for a season, a reason, or a lifetime. And I think we met for all three, Jacqui. So thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Keep up the great work. Thanks.